The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. After the wise men had left, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, "Get up, take the child and his mother with you, and escape into Egypt, and stay there until I tell you, because Herod intends to search for the child and do away with him." So Joseph got up, and taking the child and his mother with him, left that night for Egypt, where he stayed until Herod was dead. This was to fulfill what the Lord had spoken through the prophet, "I called my son out of Egypt." After Herod's death, the angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt and said, "Get up, take the child and his mother with you, and go back to the land of Israel, for those who wanted to kill the child are dead." So Joseph got up, and taking the child and his mother with him, went back to the land of Israel. But when he learned that Archelaus had succeeded his father, Herod, as ruler of Judea, he was afraid to go there. And being warned in a dream, he left for the region of Galilee. There he settled in a town called Nazareth. In this way, the words spoken through the prophets were to be fulfilled. He will be called a Nazarene. The Gospel of the Lord. If you look back at the quality of your family relationships, in what ways has it been clothed with sincere compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience? No memory? No memories of kindness in your families? Oh, you do. Lovely, lovely. If you look back at the quality of your family relationships, when were those moments when it lacked sincere compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience? Inasmuch as we want to have a perfect, ideal family life, sometimes family life can prove to be a challenging, demanding situation for most of us. Is it easy for you? Family life? No. In early December of this year, the Claremont United Methodist Church, based in the US of A, went on viral in the internet in its depiction of the nativity scene. Have you heard of that? Figures of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph were separated in individual cages with barbed wires on top. A baby Jesus, unlike this one, was wrapped in what resembled a mylar blanket, similar to the sheets migrants have been given in holding cells in the United States of America. And on a podium, a message read, "What if this family sought refuge in our country today?" People had either commended or lambasted the church for its display, which did not mention President Donald Trump, but did shed light on family separation at the US border. Wittingly or unwittingly, that specific public policy on migration has forcibly separated children from their parents, wives from their husbands, families from their loved ones. I think this serves as a reminder for us of how broken our world is, that it is willing to break even the bonds of powerless family structures. We might want to think that we are better off than those families making their exodus to the land of the free, As a society, we have wrestled with our own painful stories of separation and family breakups. If you've checked with the government regarding the statistics on divorce, 2016 was at its lowest, 1.9%. It slightly grew in 2017 to 2% here in Australia. But in that same year, in 2017, 47.1% of divorces involved children under 18. Usually, children under 18 have great difficulty accepting parents separating, because for them it is a structure of stability, of genuine love. Can you imagine yourself at 5 years of age seeing your parents separate? It is just terribly painful. Statistics did not indicate families who were separated. It just talked about divorce, or families whose parents were living de facto but have separated. The statistics did not indicate families who continue to live together but are living their lives in a very antagonistic and violent way. Domestic violence, it seems, in this part of the world is of high incidence. Or of families, due to lack of job opportunities, needed to live separately for access to a good paying job. I think the actual rate of brokenness in our families exceeds what the current statistics is showing us. The high incidence of mental health problems, drug use, and addictions are indicative and symptomatic of the brokenness gnawing in our families. Today's readings are apt reminders for us of what qualities are demanded from the followers of Christ in the way we relate with our parents, brothers, sisters, and children. They speak of the values we need to live out in our family relationships. In the Gospel, the Holy Family leaves Judea and flees to Egypt to avoid King Herod during the massacre of the infants. This reading shows the perseverance and care of Jesus' parents. The Gospel clearly rejects the injustice of Herod's persecution and recognizes the importance of a safe haven for Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Are your families safe? Sirach, in the first reading, insists that caring for parents is beneficial to parents, children, and society. Similarly, the letter of Paul to the Colossians advocates for care of parents and emphasizes reciprocity in the parent-child relationship. Some of you have been asking if I want children, and I've been telling them I don't like children because I don't like to change nappies. Do you like to change nappies? I don't like to change nappies. It stinks. But, you know, one of the things I remember when I was a kid, I used to change nappies. The nappies of my grandparents, my grandmother, because she had a stroke and we had to take care of her. Do you take care of your parents? Do you take care of your grandparents? I think it was 3 months ago, I was at the Elizabeth Gates and I saw a student from St. Cat's, a year 11 student from St. Cat's, helping out his grandmother who was staying at Elizabeth Gates. You know how I realized she was helping out his grandmother? He was doing the laundry for his grandmother. who was staying at Elizabeth Gates? Do you care for your parents and grandparents? Importantly, in the same letter to the Colossians are encouraged, if they are believers in Christ, to clothe themselves in compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, patience, and love. These readings call us to treat one another like family with dignity and respect. So have you genuinely cared for your parents? Have you genuinely shown interest for their welfare and well-being? Or are you just interested for them to sign the document giving you the power of attorney for all of their assets? In what ways has your family relationships been clothed by sincere compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience? When were those moments in your family relations when it lacked sincere compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience? May this day, the day we celebrate the feast of the Holy Family, remind us to persevere in our care for each other. May you never tire in showing compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness to your family members.